This is Russ. Yeah, I'm back out on the road again. What are we riding today? The Lectric XPedition 2.0. Yeah, the big cargo bike. I'm telling you, this thing feels humongous. It really does. I guess it really isn't if you consider that the positioning of where the seat is. It's a little more forward, you know, all that. But when you look at it, it just looks like a humongous bike. Kind of is though, really. Because I have the handhold section still on the back of the bike. I use that because in case I have cargo, I can strap it down. Yeah. So anyway, a lot of things to talk about today. And where are we headed first? Nobody knows, but we're gonna go. Maybe we'll ride into Arlington Heights or something and come back. Yeah, the nice part with this bike, as you know, the last time I took it out, I mentioned that I was taking it because I can go some distance on this bike. You got dual batteries on here. Because I got the long range version, which is the way to go, by the way. If you're interested in one of these expeditions, I would highly recommend spend the extra dollars and get the long range version. You can go farther. Yeah, double batteries, you know, larger batteries, that type of thing. It's worth it. Yeah, let's use the turn signal. I got to get used to using turn signals because a lot of my bikes now have them. I don't usually push them, but I just push the left turn signal. Now the guys in front don't know, so you still got to use your hands to let them know, which I just did. But the guys in the back would know because you have turn signals in the back. I've been saying for a while that, you know, hey, if we're going to put turn signals on these bikes, let's put them in the front and the back, not just the back. Maybe Lectric will hear me and maybe they'll do that one day. So now I have this fairly high up, as you know. I like my leg extension, so I'm sitting way up there. So I'll kind of angle down a little bit. Hopefully you can see a little bit of the handlebars while we're doing this. And so this is, of course, set up now for class 3 operation. You can do 28 miles an hour pedaled, 20 miles an hour throttled, although the legal definition is no throttle at 28. But hey, no one's gonna take their throttle off of their bike. Now here's what I did. I went on Google and I typed in e-bike laws in Arlington Heights, and then also checked e-bike laws in the Palatine area, e-bike laws, and in the general areas, just to see what comes up. So Google nowadays have like AI versions, right? So it checks its own AI thing and searches for everything and tells you what it thinks. So I says, well, I might take this out towards Arlington Heights. What's their current laws? Seems like you can ride in Arlington Heights without any real issues, if you're riding on the street, that is. Okay, they still have a restriction of, you can't be on the sidewalks, and I think they said something to the effect of you have to be 16, I think it said, to be able to ride a class 3 bike. But even so, some areas may not allow class 3 on the street. So then I said, okay, well, what does Palatine say? And they're kind of similar. But it does say that, you're not allowed on the sidewalks, and let's have helmets and all that stuff. So I read recently, I don't remember where, I don't know which publication said that in September they were going to discuss in the Palatine area what the laws should be for e-bikes. And I think they were talking about making it such that you needed a driver's license before you can ride the e-bike. I'm actually okay with that. I don't mind that. Kind of forces people to have at least a certain age that way, right? See how the kids are out riding their bikes and with the dad. So I'm kind of okay with that. I don't mind that one. Okay, but then again, it was reminded to me, he says, well, what if you don't have a driver's license? Well, yeah, that could be an issue then, right? I mean, sometimes there are people who lose their driver's license. You know, they may have had one at one time, but that's why they have an e-bike, is because they lost their driver's license and they need the e-bike to get around, to get to work and wherever. Yeah, then they're kind of out of luck. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what the best rule for that would be, but I think they're talking about requiring a driver's license at least, okay? And then I think they said something about, you know, being at least 16 years old to ride the e-bikes, that you have to ride it on the street, cannot ride it on the paths, cannot ride it on the sidewalks, bike paths, any of that type of stuff. So they're being a little more restrictive, but they haven't banned the e-bike, and that's the key thing. They're not banning it. That's good. Now some cities, we call them villages out in our area, have actually banned it. Like I said, Glenview, Illinois, they actually banned it. I don't think that's fair. We've talked about this before. Let me get past this, it's kind of noisy. So some friends of mine have asked me, well, what about these guys that bought e-bikes and they live out there? I go, yeah, they're kind of out of luck. He goes, well, that doesn't seem right. Yeah, and these guys don't have e-bikes, okay? It doesn't seem right. I tend to agree. It doesn't seem right. I mean, they literally would have to put their bikes in their car, move over to another city, and then ride it. It's just weird. I don't like it at all. So anyway, so here's how this is going to affect my channel. Okay, I have to be careful where I'm going. You know, if I ride too far and I ride into Glenview, I could be in trouble, right? Because they don't allow you to ride a bike out there. I have to actually now look at where I'm going to go and what their current rules and regulations are, because it seems to be changing all the time. It's really crazy. But here's where it will really affect me in terms of my bike reviews. I can't do the hill test anymore. Because the hill test is actually on one of the bike trails. Yeah. So if I'm not allowed to be on the bike trails, I can't do the hill test anymore. Well, let me just say this. I don't know how valid the hill test is in the first place anyway, because if we know what the torque of the motor is, we already guesstimate what that hill test is going to come out to be, right? I would say whenever I see a torque rating of at least 85 Newton meters of torque, that hill test is going to come out pretty decent. Yeah, it'll usually be between 12 and 14 miles per hour, right? And if you have a torque rating higher than that, then it's probably going to be higher than the 14 mile per hour rating. When we usually do a hill test, very few of our bikes ever go past the 14 something miles per hour. So we already know. So do we really need to do the hill test? I guess not, but it would have been kind of nice to be able to actually see it. So going forward, just so that you guys know, if you're watching a Russ's Right video and you're wondering, we're at a standstill, everyone's stopping here. All right, so let's go. See, this is a problem. When everyone's stopped at a stop sign, nobody knows where to go, especially when the bike is around, right? So, yeah, that could be an issue. All right, let's get past here first. I'm going to pedal past here to get us faster to get out of here. All right, throttle a little bit more. Yeah, this one's 28 and 20. 20 throttled, 28 pedaled. I'm throttling most of it at this point. I just want to talk. I don't want to be winded sounding. So the hill test is going to go away from me going forward. So when is all this going to happen? Well, they said they're going to talk about it in September. And my feeling is they'll pass that. We don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure they're going to. At least at this point, they haven't said anything about you have to license the bike or anything like that. They haven't said anything about that. All they basically said was you have to have a license. You got to be a certain age. You have to ride on the street. All right, let's pass through here. You have to ride on the street, can't ride on the paths. Which is fine with me because I'm always on the street anyway, as you know. Doesn't affect me, but it'll probably affect some other people because there are a number of people who ride on the sidewalks. There are people who ride on the wrong way of the road too, by the way. Just to let you know, I had one today. I had one yesterday. They're riding against the traffic. Come on, we don't ride that way. We ride with the traffic. That's the law. So in other words, you need to know the law. And they said basically all rules of the road will apply to bike riders. Now they recently in our area had adopted a new definition for Illinois for bikes, and that basically says bikes are, you know, electric and non-electric. So that was a helpful ruling, but it also means we have to follow everything. So what about the stop signs? Everyone wants to know, what are you going to do with the stop signs, Russ? I'm going to have to stop a little harder, but it doesn't mean I'm going to physically stop 100%. I think most police are okay with that. If they see that you're slowed down to the point where you're basically crawling and then you move, you know, where you're actually not hopping off the bike, I think they're fine with that. I mean, you got to be pretty cold-hearted to ticket a bike rider just because he didn't hop off the bike. But if you can see, he's, you know, let's say I'm doing 20 miles an hour right now, right? Which technically is my legal limit on the street. And I come down to say 6, 7 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour, and then I go. You gotta be pretty cold-hearted to write the guy a ticket for that. On a bike, come on. But doesn't mean it won't happen. It might happen. So yeah, you're gonna see me having to stop a little bit more now to maintain this area. Maintain the rules of the road of this area. Okay, here's a stop sign coming up. Here's what I'm gonna end up doing. Now, of course, if there's a lot of cars, like right now, I may physically have to hop off. I'll come down to like this, and I'll go. So what was it? This thing won't register slow. If I come slowly, it'll still register some movement, even though it's not moving. But it was saying around what, 6 miles an hour? Okay. I think that's good enough. Really, are they going to stop me for not stopping for 3 full seconds? I don't know what the law is now or had been, but I remember when I went through driver's ed, they were saying you got to do a full 3-second stop. I'm not doing a full 3-second stop. I'm not doing a full 3-second stop. All right, so now that one, yeah, that was a little too fast. I would probably have to learn to go a little bit slower on those things too. It's gonna take a while. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do it without thinking about it now. I mean, I wasn't thinking then, so I was slowed down a little bit and I went, but I think I have to go a little bit slower now. Yeah, I tell you, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for me. So what about these distance rides? People have asked me, what happened to all the long distance rides you used to do, Russ? Well, here's one of the reasons why there's no distant rides. I don't know where I can go, where I can't go. I mean, even going into Bussy Woods, I can't do that anymore. Yeah, it's gonna be restricted for me. So I'm not gonna go. So what can I do? Yeah, basically roam the streets. That's about all I can do at this point. Roam the streets, ride around the streets. Oh, look at this house. That front reminds me of stately Wayne Manor, Batman. Okay, it's not big enough, but hey, it has that basic look to it. From the TV series. I'm not saying about about the movies, the TV series, Batman, stately Wayne Manor. So yeah, some things will have to change going forward now. As long as they don't ban me, I'm fine, you know. If they put certain rules, well, like it or not, we have to abide by. Okay, now here, we have a car going across, so I have to stop, right? But I had to hop off the bike to do it. I don't want to be hopping off every second here. Like, here's another stop. Do I really want to hop off this bike again? The answer is no, I don't want to. So we're gonna slow down. We're gonna look around, nobody's there, we're gonna go. Yeah. May not make everybody happy, but you know, that's the best I can do. That's more than I that's more than I typically stop. So why did I take the Lectric XPedition 2.0 out? Well, it's been sitting. I haven't taken it out as much as I would like. Somebody said, sell that one and I'll buy it. No, I like this bike. I like this bike. I'm not selling it. I got to hang on to it for a while. Now, if there's an XPedition 3.0, I might sell this bike if they give me the 3.0. No, but they just came out with this bike. Yeah. It just came out. We'll go forward. They just came out with this bike. When was it? They showed it in September of last year. So it's been about a year. They didn't deliver it until, when was it? Maybe, was it January? I don't know when it was. It was way back then. And so really it hasn't even been out in a year. I mean, we saw it early because we went to Arizona to visit Lectric to see it. But it didn't get delivered until way later, you know. So I don't expect the 3.0 version to come out anytime soon. This one's pretty good, yeah. If you're looking for a cargo bike and you want a big one, get this one. Yeah, not kidding, get this one, all right? It's smooth. I mean, I really like it. This was the first electric bike I actually ever rode, because when we went out to Arizona to see it, they had two bikes to show us. And so this was the very first bike I actually rode that was from Lectric. And I was like, oh wow, this is a big cargo bike. I mean, at that time I had already ridden 2 cargo bikes. I had 2 cargo bikes before that. I think I had a KBO, and then I had the Moon Cool, right? So then I was like, wow, okay. It's not like I hadn't ridden, well, let's head back. It's not like I hadn't ridden the cargo bikes before, but man, I said, wow, that thing's pretty big. I mean, my first impression was, wow, that thing is huge. And then being the first and not knowing the area and everything, I said, wow, we get the right way here, so I get to go. I said, I wonder how I'm gonna do. The minute I got on the bike, I said, wow, feels really good. And I was like, wow, I'm going pretty fast on this thing too. Yeah, that was a slow down stop, not quite stopped. And then, so then when they said, okay, they're gonna send it out to me, I said, can you send me the long range? He goes, yeah, sure. Yeah, so, yeah, get the long range. Costs a little bit more, but you know, you can go places. So I'm using this bike really for my long distances. Anything that I'm gonna go further than maybe a typical ride along the path. Path meaning along the streets. I put my arm out and slowed down. And so, yeah, I like this bike a lot. I don't like how it sits in my house though, because it's kind of long, kind of sticks out. So, but other than that, yeah, I like it quite a bit. Get one of these if you're looking for a cargo bike. I'm not kidding. Get one of these. This is a good one. Use my affiliate link too while you're at it. It'll be in the description of all my videos. Yeah, let them know it came from Russ is Right. That way they can send me more when the new ones come out, if they finally get new ones, right? And then I could review them, ride them around. So as you know, I have a number of my bikes available. By the time you see this video, I think 2 of them will be gone. 2 of them have already been spoken for. They're gonna pick it up. Today is a Saturday as I'm riding here. They're gonna pick it up Sunday and Monday. So the Lectric Breeze 1 will be gone on Sunday, and then the King Bull, the first King Bull bike will be gone. What is that called? I can't remember the names of these things anymore. Yeah, it was fairly new. Yeah, I've got another King Bull bike that I did a review for that will be, well, it hasn't been released yet. I don't know when it'll be released, but Maybe it'll be released by the time you see this video. If not, it's coming up. I've already done the review of it. Just haven't, I got to schedule these things, you know. So anyway, so 2 of them are gone, but the others have been kind of not going. I'm kind of surprised because I have some really good ones out there, like the Magicycle Deer 26-inch by 4-inch fat tire one. That's a really good bike. I have the Ocelot Pro 2.0 up on there from Magicycle. That's a really good bike too. So, and then I have the other Magicycle too. So all 3 of my Magicycles that are still in the house are up for sale. Now, here's what's going to happen though. If somebody buys the Ocelot Pro, I'm keeping the Deer. If somebody buys the Deer, I'm keeping the Ocelot Pro. So whichever one sells, I'm keeping the other one. Just so that you know, all right? So if you're looking at that, there's some Himiway bikes available too. You know, there's other stuff up there. There's a Rad power bike. The Radster Road Large is available. That's a good bike. I haven't ridden that much. that was going to be Mrs. Wright's bike, but she hasn't ridden anything at all this year. So we're putting it up for sale. So anyways, check it out at russiswright.com. It'll redirect you to russiswright.blogspot.com, and then you can see what's available still. And then, as I told you guys, it'll be between 40 and 50% off for some of these bikes, okay? All right, what other goodies we got to talk about? So anyway, okay, going back to this whole thing, is it that people are holding off because they don't know what the laws will be in their area? That's a possibility. I think that's a possibility. Otherwise, people would have jumped all over those things because those are really good prices. Plus, you got to be local or willing to come to Chicago to pick them up. I'm sure that holds up a lot of people because several people had mentioned, you know, if you were closer, I would have bought one. Yeah, that's true. And I can't ship them. I don't have boxes anymore, and the shipping would be too high. It's not worth it. So we can't sell to anyone other than the general area or people willing to come into our general area. So anyway, rules and regulations. Well, we kind of knew it was coming. It was just a matter of when, right? But they're not being overly restrictive, really, in our area. It's just 1 or 2 cities or villages have kind of gone crazy on what it is. Somebody said one other one also decided not to allow people to ride. That's a little too restrictive, especially when people have already got their e-bikes and they bought them. I mean, what are you going to be told everyone basically they can't ride in their cities now? That's. I think eventually that'll change. They're talking about that now, but something is going to change eventually. They can't like forever ban the e-bikes. So it's always interesting people watching me ride this particular bike because it's so big. It looks big. You can see people's faces looking at you sometimes when you're riding. All right, so we're going to turn here. Yep, I use the hand signal and I use the turn signal. Here's why. People in the front can't see your turn signal. You got to use your hand signals. I just got hit in the arm by a cicada or something. I felt that one. Yeah, cicadas are still out in our general areas. They always come out, you know, around this time of year. Sometimes you hear my rides, you hear them making all sorts of noises. This is a very quiet bike too, by the way. You know, I think you always hear some type of motor noise from almost any bike, but this one's really quiet. This one's super quiet. It's their new motor that they've been putting on these bikes now are really, really silent. Okay, I'm not gonna say silent because it's not really silent. Super quiet. None of them are silent. They all have some type of noise, right? But it's not objectionable at all. Yeah, Lectric's made some good bikes, that's for sure. I think the only one I don't have is the Express. Everything's an X something. I have the X Peak 2.0. I don't have the Express. That's a less expensive version. And oh, one more. I don't think the XP Lite, is that what it's called? I don't have that one either. But I have all the other ones. But people have asked me, are you going to sell those? Not now. Maybe later, but not right now. Gotta leave me with some bikes to ride too, you know. Of course, at this point, I got a ton of bikes to ride. Yeah, it's gonna take some time to hit the stop signs. To get used to stopping at the stop sign. Well, I don't stop anyways, as you know, but you know what I mean. Slowing down enough to consider it kind of like a stop. Yo, what are these guys doing? They got some long stuff going on here. Gave me the head nod. I gave him the head nod. He gave me the head nod. Head nod's the easiest way to deal with it. You acknowledge people. You don't have to let go of the handlebars. Head nod. You know, motorcycle guys do it a little differently. They'll put their left arm down, something to that effect. Kind of point down to the ground. Yeah, it's the motorcycle head nod version of a head nod. Hand signal, you know. That works too. I get that from motorcycle guys sometimes. Sometimes I give that to them, they give it back to me. Lost dog, it says. Yeah. It's tough, you know. You lose your dog, you lose your cat. Yeah, it's kind of hard to find them. All right, so the path over here, we just passed 12 miles an hour. Come on, that's too slow for me. I'd rather be on the street. Even if the street limits me to 20, that's still faster than 12. No, but you miss out on the path. I don't really care. I really don't. Others would care. Others like to see it. Others like to see it, so they miss out. So that's what I got for you guys for today. Just to give you an update on what's happening around our general area. Yeah, no real fears at this point, but we're being a little more restricted at this point. That's all. It's okay. Hopefully things will blow over in time, but you never know. They'll probably get used to it and they'll probably maintain the 20 mile per hour thing. Well, it's kind of already at 20 miles per hour anyways, so it's not a real big deal. I think the only real difference now is they're restricting you from bike paths, yeah, and sidewalks, and that you have to have a driver's license. At least they didn't say insure it, you know, get insurance or anything like that. At least they didn't do that, because then now it's not just a restriction. Now it's going to be a cost associated with riding a bike too. At least we don't have that. All right, anyways, that's all I got for you guys. Hey, if you like the video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let me know in the description, in the comment section, okay? What's your thoughts on all this stuff? I think we talk too much about these things sometimes. The influencers talk too much about it, but that's the news, right? That's the news of the day, so that's why we talk about it. Does it scare some people off? Probably does, yeah. Don't worry too much, okay? Check with your local area that you plan to ride in. find out what their rules and regulations are. Like I said, all I did is I typed in the name of the city and state, and I just said e-bike laws in this city, this state, and then Google AI will find it for you. All right, hit the like and subscribe button. I'll talk to you guys next time.